Hello, good morning. I want to welcome you to our weekly series of tips. I want to thank you for being here with me and listening to us. Today, I am going to continue on the topic which we started last week. We started with the SMART objectives. We spoke about how the objectives should be specific, measurable, and achievable. And today, on our second part, we're going to talk about how the objectives should be relevant to the business and how they should be time bound. How relevant the objective is to the action plan. Many times I saw with many entrepreneurs, young entrepreneurs and startups, and even large enterprises, where we set sometimes the wrong objective for the wrong action plan or strategy. And then what we're trying to work is that we're working on something which is not relevant. And then when we're working on something which is not relevant and the team is feeling it, then your work will not be worthwhile anymore. And then when the work is not worthwhile, then people again will not be motivated. And then you will not be really, in a way, assessing the real impact of your strategy and the action plan that is related to the strategy, to the output which you are trying to achieve. Finally, we need to have an objective that is time bound. We know that time is essential for any business. It's extremely important to be able to measure our effort based on the time which we are spending on these efforts. So I will give a very simple example. Let's assume that one of the strategic pillars was to increase our market share by 2%. But if we don't define how long it will take us to increase our market share by 2%, let's say if we don't say that we want to do it within 1 year, within 18 months, within 24 months, within 36 months, it doesn't matter. As long as we put it on paper, we put it on the table, and we all know, the whole team knows what is the objective. Then how do we know if we really achieved, if we really performed, if we really underperformed, or even overperformed, right? What if the objective was to do it, to have a market share by to increase it by 2%? However, the objective was supposed to be done within 18 months, but the team took 36 months. So should we all be so happy and start, tapping ourselves on the shoulder and saying, yeah, great job? Of course not. Something went terribly wrong. Yes, we achieved 2% of market share. However, we need to understand why we couldn't do it in 18 months, why it took us 36 months, what wasn't on our radar, or what went wrong internally, or what were the external factors which came and changed our plan, changed our performance. Was it foreseen or unforeseen, right? And this is how, once we understand all these elements around our objective and what impacted our performance, this is when we can understand if, yeah, no problem, this was like beyond of our control, and then we can continue doing business as usual, or no, it's time to reset the clock and start doing maybe internal audits, or trying to understand where we failed, and maybe we need to train our employees, or change a process, or invest even more, or very simply, our objective was wrong and it was so ambitious. So this is extremely important for us, for all of us as entrepreneurs and business owners, to understand how we implement and how we start putting action plans that are going to serve our strategic objectives and strategic pillars. I hope that today's tip was extremely important for you, and that you were able to form an idea about how to move from a high-level strategic plan and strategic planning session after formulating the strategic pillars, and how to start converting in a concrete manner a strategic pillar into several action plans. So I want to thank you again for following us this week and for listening to me. And I hope that I will see you next week, where we'll be talking about more interesting topics about strategy and strategy implementation. Thank you, and have a great week ahead.